Working on a Oliver Super 88. I don't know what year it is, but local farmer owns it, uses it quite a bit. I think he mostly runs elevator with it, but he does keep it maintained. I shut it off, but it's got some wiring issues, so it's hard to restart. But his main complaint is the PTO and the wiring issues, but he said that the PTO got left kind of joggled in between, and he thinks it smoked the clutch packings. It does stop that way. Looks like it engages. It makes a lot of noise. Which sounds like the little shifting fork is rubbing in there, or the throwout bearing. There's no real, I don't know what it felt like before, but there's no real detent or anything. See, the knob is gone. This doesn't really seem to move, but he seems to think that this little tab was worn out too. But anyway, we're going to tear into it, replace the clutch material or whatever else it needs to make the PTO work, because that's quite a bit of what he uses the tractor for. So I'm going to bring it in and get working on it. I'm going to work on taking this cover off. Got one bolt on this side that appears to be catch or stop for the handle powel. So get that one off. 9/16. Not much room in here to, I might be able to get a ratchet in there. I watched another video by Bibster or something. I can't remember the rest of his username, but shout out to him for taking one of these apart before I did. It was nice to have a video to watch, get some ideas. I know he was dropping weight or something on his tractor for pulling. Alright, looks like, I don't know what was over here. Nothing right now. Kind of looks like it would have been a flathead screw. I don't know, maybe just a bolt. Through bolt with a nut. Maybe there's threads. Yeah, it might be. Anyway, it's been gone a long time. Get 4 bolts down there. Come out. Extension. Okay, so the lever's got to go all the way forward, which helps to release the fork from the bearing. There's the barrier. Pretty dirty in there. It smells kind of burnt, but mostly just dust. Huh. There's a grease zerk. I don't think that was ever used. Must be what that little flip open window is. Hard to tell. I guess it's quite burnt. Burnt and worn and cracked looking. Thinking we can just take, looks like that has to be up like that to access the grease zerk. This is got a little flat spot on it. This seems to have a flat spot. Yeah, probably both sides. Yeah. There's nothing left of it. Well, let's take it apart and inspect it. Hopefully just replace the linings. Kind of hard to see in there, but everything is just pretty sloppy and lots of dust. Like I said, I think he thinks the lever was left half engaged and just kind of burnt the whole thing. So I'll take this off. Don't know if there's any importance to alignment. Doesn't look like it, but it's easy to mark before you take it apart. That's easy. Use a punch, make one mark. Simple enough. Should say one mark on each piece. All right. Take this bearing off and see what comes apart here. Oh, I got parts falling out. Shim. That's a layered shim. get, I have to do some reading in the service manual, because it looks like that's adjustable. Yeah, that's a laminated shim. Okay, one off the bottom. Well, looks like we gotta take the bearing out first. Bronze. Wondering, that should probably have a tighter fit to this collar, but possibly not. Might work the way it is. Looks like the grease was supposed to go in and actually go in there and grease between this and this. I don't think that's happened in a long time. Looks like all this stuff is functional. Rollers are turning. Can't imagine there's any specific alignment to that, but make a mark. Sometimes it's easier to make a mark than try to remember how to put it back together. There's no real lip on either side. Not even where this alignment finger is. It looked like there's a spring. Okay, there's a spring missing, I guess, in one of these pockets. It's a little spring right there. Aligns in that hole. Doesn't appear to be cracked at all. So that's good. Definitely got some color from heat. Disc, that's cracked through, and 1, 2, 3, That's cracked too. 4 spots. There's not much there either. Quite worn. It's quite a bit more lining on this side. So, it's like this flat side goes in, side that's not flat goes out or to the rear of the tractor. Stack it up there. It's got a lot of ugliness there. Might even be cracked. It's got a ring to it. Maybe it's not cracked, but it kind of looks cracked. Maybe that's just a bunch of... Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a crack. Not really much of a ridge or anything in there. I mean, if parts are available, it wouldn't hurt to replace it, but I don't know quite yet what is actually available for this. Sorry. Second clutch disc, flat side to the rear of the tractor. Protruding spline hub goes in. That's cracked at all 4 corners, well, 4 where these slots are. Must be for flexibility. Quite thin. Been well used and or left on, I guess. Okay, so there's a spring there that's kind of tweaked. And there's one, and oops, that one's quite compressed. And one is missing. I don't know, maybe in all this greasy schmegma junk at the bottom. I'd say this is a really nice clutch to work on. PTO clutch. Readily accessible. This, I mean, just the slightest ridge there. I don't think that would have to be reworked or anything, or even if it can be. See, live shaft goes up to the flywheel, right up to the engine. Okay. Well, I got a part. I have to do some cleaning. See what parts are available. I'll pull this inner disc off. So I'd like to probably replace the seal behind it. We're already in here, so might as well. And there's some kind of gooey looking stuff in there. It could be a failed seal. We'll pull that off and see what's behind there. there, an outer seal and an inner seal. Looks like that one's definitely leaking. Now we'll pull the inner retainer off. Might be a little different trick here to get the shaft out. Let's see if I can just pry it out gently. That doesn't want to come out of there easily. Might be some sort of retainer or something I'm not seeing. I would think the whole shaft would come out all the way from the front, from the back of the engine. Now, don't want to break anything, so I think I'll do a little research, see if I can find a diagram somewhere, see if there's a retainer or a trick to that. I'll get back to it. We're going to get back to it here. I think we're just going to work on prying it out of there. It's mostly just a bearing in there that's kind of got a loose fit into the housing. Into the PTO housing here. Let's try a little bigger bar here. It's just a bearing that's very loosely fit in there. So I can tell it's moved a little bit because it taps back in. A little rocking back and forth. Comes right out of there. I'll have to see. see, we got all this stacked up here. I'll have to get some of that apart in order to get in there, replace the seals. I just have to pull the whole thing out, 5-6 feet of it, and tap on it. Alright, I had to search around for my little snap ring pliers. It looks like we got a little snap ring right here. Right there's a little snap ring. You need one of these weird old snap ring pliers. This is a Utica 534. So, made in USA somewhere. Works pretty good for this, hopefully. Maybe not. We'll get a little screwdriver to help. That's on too. There we go. I don't think I've ever used this tool before. I think this is probably why. It's not a great thing, but it kind of works. Just gotta know how to use it, I guess. Might come off there. Seems to want to stay on. Don't want to come apart, not today. But don't have no choice because 500 things around here to work on. Gotta get it done. Get back to the customer. Really on there. All right, there it is. One of those kind of snap rings. Put that in the tray. Comes off here. Anything? Moving a little bit. There's our bad seal. One of the bad seals. Okay, gotta get that one ordered. Found a diagram online from a different one. Different but similar. That's our circlip, spacer, seal, rear bearing. That'll pop out of there. Yeah, that's. Still feels like it's good. Got a little movement that way, but that's normal. Oh, this stuff sure is dirty. Okay, so I'll pull the whole shaft out. Might just pull that back there. Leave the bearing on, the spacer. I guess I could have left the circlip in place. Let's see, you need to take that off. This will just come out this way. Another seal in there dividing transmission from clutch housing or something, as rusty as that is. Yeah, seal's right there where it rides, looks like. Doesn't look like that would be very easy to replace, but I don't think that's our problem. Main thing I like to do is get in and replace the seal in this carrier. That's really loose on there. I don't think that bearing is locked anymore. I wonder if the bearing is actually turning. Oh yeah. Push on it side to side. Not the best of shape. And I'll take that clip off there. That is dirty grease. There's kind of a lip on there where it hasn't been spinning. Seems like it's worn part of this, what they call clutch sleeve. That doesn't seem good. Move it all. It's a big burr. Evidently this has been hammering back and forth, hammering the circlip snap ring, and it burred this groove or next to the groove, the outside of the groove, right there. So I have to remove that bird. Try file. Come out. Supposed to come apart like that. Huh. Shield on one side. Yeah, that's not a very good bearing. Pretty gravelly feeling. Rough. So the shielded side goes towards the front of the tractor. We'll get that bearing new for the customer. And then our gear, we'll call that the pinion, comes off with the spaced part of it goes to the front of the tractor, or the rear, front of the tractor rather. And this stuff is dirty. Ah, that comes out. Another seal. That seal is bad, but another bearing. Seal housing retainer for this bearing. It's got a snap ring on it. Snap ring goes that way. Gotta remember how to put all this together after the parts show up. That bearing feels really good. But this does not look good here. This bearing is really loose. It has not been locked to the pinion yet. No, clutch sleeve, sorry. This bearing has not been locked to the clutch sleeve, it's just been spinning on there. Looks like it's really worn this down quite a bit. It's actually got kind of a tapered look to it, like it's going in at the top. Be nice to find a replacement, but we'll have to do some digging and see. Well, that's most of it disassembled. Get these seals replaced. That will keep the oil from getting in the clutch housing, PTO clutch housing. Should be dry in there. No numbers on the seal, but just have to dimension the seals with caliper and figure out what they are. Get this gasket here, or just make it. It'll be easy enough. Huh. Alrighty. Well, time to start washing parts.